G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be having a look at Ubuntu Unity. This is another Ubuntu mix that's hopefully going to become one of the Ubuntu derivatives in the future, developed by a very young person, I believe. So let's have a look at, let's install this, check it out. Ubuntu Unity, you got the disk checker there. I've done that before. I'll let it run through so you can check it out. You can press Ctrl+C to cancel that if you have already run it once. So we shall try Ubuntu, just very quickly try it out first. So we have full screen available here, which is good. Very nice. So keyboard shortcuts is the very first thing that comes up. And if you wanted to open that again, I think you just hold the super key, opens the launcher, displays shortcuts. So super opens the launcher, holding super displays shortcuts. So that's how that works. So let's get into the installer first. Alright, so I tried clicking on the X button there, didn't seem to work till I clicked away somewhere else, so I don't know if that's a bit of a bug there or that's the way it's supposed to work. So super button opens up the launcher, the Unity launcher, which looks really nice. And I like the way the panel changes colour there, it's pretty good. So let's install. Bit of a jingle there, English. For me, there's other options here. You may wish to read the release notes here. Let's see what that does. Let's just check that out. And that takes you to the Ubuntu release notes. Okay, let's continue. Choose your keyboard layout. So, yep, English US is always my keyboard. There's other options here. Khmer Cambodian was my wife's nationality, Khmer Cambodian. She doesn't really use computers. So English US, and you've got all these other options here as well. And you can type here to check out whether your keyboard is functioning correctly with the exclamation and @ symbol and capital S and capital C, B, and all that stuff is working. That and dot, comma, it's all working well. So, or you got an option here to detect keyboard layout. Continue that. Now I'm gonna go for, let's see, normal installation, download updates while installing Ubuntu. Yep, we'll do that. And install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. And additional media formats. Now I don't know whether that installs all the codecs or not. In my past experiences it pretty much doesn't. We'll see how we go. So let's continue that. You can choose to do a minimal install, which gives you web browser and basic utilities, and then you can build upon the OS from there. But most people will do a normal install. Let's continue. Now erase disk and install Ubuntu. I'm just going to do that on this occasion. I'm not going to do anything fancy. But when I look at it in real hardware, it'll probably be the usual EFI boot partition and so forth. You got some advanced features here. Use LVM with the new Ubuntu installation. Experimental, erase disk and use ZFS. Not really interested in any of those, so I'm just going to do a erase disk and install Ubuntu. Now the only time, oh that's a nice transparency there. Let's go back for a minute. Now the only time you need to do something else is if you've got a separate data partition, or you're dual booting with Windows or something like that, then you cannot use the erase disk because that just erases the whole disk completely. But if you're planning on dual booting or you want a separate home partition or separate data partition, either one of those, then you would have to do something else. So that's install now. Continue that. Now, unlike the Calamares installer, that gives you options down here to choose from. This one you just get to choose from the map. Perth is correct for me anyway. And we'll go Unity VBox. Leave that as colon. I prefer that. Password and repeat. And let's continue. Now we'll skip the rest of this. This is the same as a standard Ubuntu 2004 installer. So if you've seen my Ubuntu install of 2004, it's pretty much the same thing. That is the installation complete. We will now take a look around the desktop on real hardware on my Toshiba laptop, the one with no screen. It's headless laptop now, and we'll have a look around on that. So we'll see you in the freshly installed desktop on real hardware. Here we are on the desktop of Ubuntu Unity 20.04, and I'm quite liking the look of the Ubuntu Unity desktop, the way he's got it set out. It's got using the papyrus icons, which I quite like. We've got a Unity tweak tool here, so let's have a quick look at that. Unity tweak. And I think this this shell theme just looks a little bit out of place with the way the rest of the desktop's set up. It's got that brownish look, which seems to look out of place. That's just the way I see it anyway. You might see it differently. So icons, he's got Ubuntu Mono Dark, but he has got Papyrus in. I thought they were Papyrus, but they're not. Let's try Papyrus Dark. Oh, there we go. So they're Papyrus. So he had Ubuntu Mono Dark. Unity icon theme. Papyrus. And yeah, you've got a slight problem with that one there. So Papyrus Dark, that's better. Okay, so that's the icons. So we'll go for Ubuntu Mono Dark for now. And I think the theme just changed. Restore defaults. There we go. I didn't click on anything. I didn't change anything. It just changed by itself unless I don't know, that was weird. Okay, so you have the Unity tweak tool. And we start with the launcher. And what does it have in here? Auto hide, transparency levels. Color is based on the wallpaper, which is what's happening there. You've got all sorts of animations happening here. So you haven't got the click on that to minimize and maximize, but I think you should be able to do that somewhere. Search, panel. So yeah, it should be on the panel, I would think. Or was it back here? Oh, minimize single window applications on click. There we go. So we can do that. So you can see he's got some animations going on there. Looking pretty cool. Search, panel, opaque panel for maximize windows, switcher, additional. So go back to overview, themes. Not sure whether we can change the shell theme or not. You probably need to install the tweak tool. I'm not sure how the shell theme worked on the Unity tweak tool actually. I don't know if I ever messed around with that. So under Unity you've got the launcher, which we've just played around with now. It's selected minimize. You've got the search, you've got panel, switcher, and additional. Window manager, you've got general, zoom in, zoom out. They're disabled at the moment. So if I was to use a keyboard shortcut for that, let's just say we'll try Alt and Z to zoom and see how that goes. So we'll try that. So Alt Z, zoom in. Oh, I didn't check as. Oh, oops. I didn't do zoom out, did I? Zoom out, Alt and Z for zoom and Alt X for zoom out. So we can do that. Alt Z. Alt-Z and Alt-X. There we go. A zoom working there. Workspace settings. Window spread. So Super W for window spread, like so. And Super Shift W for all windows. So Super Shift W. So window snapping. We've got options here for left half, left half, left half. We can try top left corner for there, and let's try right, top right corner for that one. Bottom right corner and bottom left corner. Let's see how that goes. Now don't try it with the Unity Tweak Tool window because that doesn't do anything. It's got to be with an application. So this will work. Quarter, 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 quarter. Full screen, that all works pretty well. Hot corners, you've got these options here. Toggle desktop, show workspaces, windows spread, spread all windows, instead of using keyboard shortcuts if that's your thing. And then we've got additional. So that was the window manager. Appearance we've looked at, the icons, cursor, fonts, and system desktop icons. Click on that. It shows on the desktop, same with these, or you can choose to individually turn them off, like so. No problem there. Security settings, desktop lock printing, user logout, user switching, scrolling. So that is a quick look at the Unity Tweak Tool. On here, let's have a look. We've got the global menu running here. Let's go help and about. And actually they've got Nemo in here. That's interesting. I like that. Nemo is always a good file manager. Whether it works well in here or not is another question. Seems to be working all right at the moment. Have we got all our main options? Let's go to preferences for Nemo and context menus. You got duplicate, make link, copy to, move to. Let's just see if they all show up. So we've got copy to, move to. Okay, so you got the full list by the looks of it happening there. What was that again? Help and about Nemo 4.4.2. We have a software center. We also got some updates, although it hasn't annoyed me about updates at all. So any mounted disks in here will be showing here. Now let's see if we can. Now also with this, your previous search remains. So that was my previous search. But you can just start typing again. As you can see, it's highlighted, and then you can do a different search. So I like that it stays on that, it remembers that search. I like that. So we grab this tweak tool and put it over here like so. So updates, it's not showing any updates. It did have some updates earlier. So let's have a look, do a search for updates. Software and updates, software updater. And there it is. It did come up on one of my previous logins, but I've shut down since then, so it's probably hasn't come through yet. So I haven't done any updates. That's the update that came through before. So let's just check out the updates here. It's probably best I do updates, just in case I get any odd things happening. It's probably because the system hasn't been updated since installation. So I might do that and then we'll continue to look around. So that's install the updates. Password. And as you can see down here, you've got the familiar look of updates, which the Ubuntu GNOME desktop is doing now. I do like the fact that these icons are highlighted when there's an open window or a running application at least. It's pretty handy, that I must say. We've got full LibreOffice suite in here as well. So we'll just check the About, Help and About LibreOffice. 6.4.4.2. Now if we press the Alt button, we get the Heads-Up Display. Is that what it's called? Heads-Up Display. And we can search for things we want to do. Let's just say header, footer, view headers. Oh, I didn't spell that right, did I? Headers and footers, hearts, double brace, left brace. If we go footer, yep. Let's just say we wanted to let's have a look at a right click on here and format cells, for example. So Alt button, form design, yep, cells. I don't know if it does those right click ones. Insert cells, clear cells, cells format, there we go. Let's check that out. Okay, so if we did a right click and format cells, it's the same deal. So yeah, you got some good search options in the HUD there. So if we hold the window button down and hold it, yeah, and if we let go it disappears. So we can have a look at that and go, okay, the HUD, what's the HUD? Alt opens the HUD, yep. Alt hold reveals the application menu. Oh, there we go. So hold the Alt button down. There's the menu. Okay. Oh, yes, you can see the menu up top there. That's handy. And then we close. So still doing our updates. So I like the other fact that you can drag and drop things. If we have a look at the menu, if we close that search there, then we'll come back to the menu itself. And we can... files and folders here, what's being used. So applications, see one more result. What's this one here? For some reason, Unity never had a tooltip for these ones here. Suppose you don't need one, so A for applications, home for home. So if we go to applications, we can see installed. So the recently used apps is what I've played around with. Don't remember opening Thunderbird though, I must say. So installed, see 80 more results, and then we can have a look at the results there. And that's all your applications installed, and then you've got dash plugins. You've got files and folders, videos, music, and pictures. You can also filter results, the last 7 days, last 60 days. Filter results in here. You can filter them by graphics. You can replace changes in Etsy GNOME default.list with a later version. Yeah, replace it. I might regret that. I hate those questions because you never know whether to replace it or not replace it. I just go with the latest. Who knows? Okay, so we can filter by graphics, internet, is Thunderbird, Office, so you've got your Office programs there. Well, actually, I'm filtering. They don't turn off, do they, as you go? So okay, so you can filter by Office. So you can check off. You can individualize if you want Office and graphics and internet to be filtered all together. You can do that. If you want just Office, turn them off. So that's pretty handy, I must say. Those filters. Quite good indeed. Right click and change desktop background. Let's have a quick look at that. So you've got all these backgrounds here. So I can't increase the size of that. Let's use the Alt Z and zoom into that. Just have a quick look at those wallpapers there. Okay, that's the wallpapers. So Alt X, go back. Now I don't know if I click on that, it doesn't disappear. It eventually goes, but I like to be able to just click on that and it goes away, but it doesn't go away. And I cannot find in the tweak tool or the settings where you can reduce the time that notification sits there. I've looked around, cannot find it anywhere. So we've got the system settings. So you've got all your typical system settings there, laid out a bit differently to what the GNOME desktop has. It's going to be in the style of the Unity once was. So that's that. So now the computer is up to date. We need to restart. So what I'll do is, let's have a look here. Pause recording, I'll do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we have rebooted the system, and I was going to have a look at the software. I thought it was a shortcut here, but maybe not. Ubuntu Software has gone funny. What has happened to the software center? Oh, it's opened. There we go. Oh no, it's lost its icon for some reason. Maybe we need to change the icons. See if that makes a difference. Appearance, icons. No, makes no difference. Downloading application ratings. Now I don't want to be a Rocco here, but you know, I'm not very good at picking up these things that Rocco does, but there is a, let's just zoom in a bit. There seems to be a little bit of a mishap with the pixels there. There's a little bit of whiteness there, which I've picked up. For me to pick that up, you know it's a little bit out of sorts, but I suppose this is just a new addition, so you know we can't be too harsh on it. It's only a very young person working on this. I don't know if he's got any help or is doing it on his own. I'm not sure. It's just a minor thing. It's no big deal. I can see it. And what do they say? When you see it, you can't unsee it. So the Ubuntu software is seems to be very slow to load these days. Probably because it's using mainly the snaps maybe. Every time I install Ubuntu base, it seems to be very slow. So that's a snap there. I don't know if that's a snap. Snap. And looks like there's no global menu for the software at all. Nothing up there. Oh, there's one there. Oh, because I was in the... Still no global menu anyway. So about Ubuntu software, installed and updates. Let's do a search for Telegram. That's what I normally do. That's an easy search. Telegram. Let's see what the search results bring us. So Telegram and desktop is no doubt a snap. Yes, it is. Do we have any other Telegrams here? If it's got a name after it, definitely it will be a snap. Okay, so all we can find is snaps. Terminal. Let's see. Apt search. So app search Telegram. Telegram-desktop. 2.1.7. What's this one here? That's 2.1.7 and this one's 2.1.12. Slightly ahead. We definitely need the terminal if we want to install apps from the Ubuntu repositories, or we could install Synaptic Package Manager, which is there and it's actually installed. That's nice. So that's very handy. So you got Synaptic in here, Synaptic Package Manager, that's a good one. And everything you search for in Synaptic will be from the Ubuntu repositories. There will be no snaps in here at all when you search. So let's do search for Telegram. Be the same as searching in the terminal. So Telegram, you may have to scroll down a bit, Telegram-desktop, right there. 2.1.7. So that's very handy. He's got Synaptic Package Manager built in out of the box on Ubuntu Unity. So you've got the, we've had a look at the tweak tool. I just wanted to have a look at the launcher once again. We got the position left or bottom. So you can put the launcher on the bottom. We'll put it on the left for now. You can adjust the icon size like so. That adjusts in increments of 2 on there. You can choose the show desktop icon on the panel there. Can adjust animations here, icon backgrounds, auto hide if you wanted to auto hide, and you've probably got reveal sensitivity. Yeah, that's a bit, yeah, you really got to whack that to get it out. Yeah, that's how much pointer pressure is required to reveal the launcher. Probably not much. Or do we need to go the other way? Oh, the other way. So it opens really easy. You only have to just touch the edge there and it opens. So that's pretty handy. You got your search results, you got your background blur. So you got your background blur there, you can turn that off. And there's no blur. You can go static or active. Okay. Search online sources, you got an option there. Enable search of your files, which is handy. So you've got these switches here, start switcher and reverse, Alt-Shift-Tab, start switcher, Alt-Tab, which is the usual thing, Alt-Tab. So you got that there. That's a really nice looking one too. Not many of them look that nice. So I like the theme he's got going here. Could probably use another theme in here. I don't know if that changes the shell theme as well. I don't know. Let's just have a quick look on the internet. So this is the Ubuntu Unity website, modernized with Yaru and Papyrus theming. It's got a few animations happening on the website here, so it's pretty cool. So did I mess up those Papyrus Unity icons, did I? Or was that the one that he had by default? So you can restore defaults here, which I always like to see. So I was using Papyrus. I thought it was using Ubuntu Mono Dark when I first went on there. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that is the Ubuntu Unity website. Got a download button there. Gallery, download, blog, issues, forum, donate. So the website looks quite nice. It's the download site for Ubuntu Unity. The gallery, you got the gallery there, a few pictures of the running OS, a blog. So he's got a Ubuntu Unity 2010 Groovy Gorilla Testing Week. Global menu on Thunderbird. Well, let's check that out. Thunderbird. Let's just cancel the setup for a minute and let's just check out. So I can't see any global menu there. Maybe we need to be within the email or something for that to happen. So probably need to set up an account first of all. So I'm going to have a look at a GNOME shell themes. I don't know whether GNOME shell themes will work in here. I'm just going to have a quick look. And as you know, I'm a fan of the Quagga theme, and I'm pretty sure that has a Unity theme in one of them, Quagga Win Dark and Quagga Dark. Let's try that one first. Okay, so that's been downloaded. I'm going to copy that over to Show Hidden Files. And have we got a themes, .themes? No, create new folder, .themes. Paste that in there and extract here. Just try out Nemo while we're doing this as well, which is always handy. GNOME shell's got one in there. So let's just see if Unity Tweak Tool can give us the Quagga Dark. So that's given us an overall dark. So we need just Quagga, I think. So that too has a GNOME shell, so let's try that. Theme and try Quagga. So now we've got the lightness and a darker strip up the top, which looks a little bit better that way, I believe. Where do we have that mismatch on the... Where do we have that mismatch? It was on here, wasn't it? No longer a mismatch there. Slightly out of whack there. If you have a look at the edges there, slightly out of whack. No biggie. So I believe it's only a really young person working on this, and so far I'm liking what I see. It's very unusual for me to find any pixel out of placements. It's very unusual for me to do that. But yeah, if they do stick out, I will see them. But that's not a problem. So there you got your calendar there. Probably got calendar in the search in here as well. Calendar, full screen, no doubt. There we go. About this computer on the top right there, you've got your log out, suspend, shut down, system settings, shortcut, Ubuntu help, and about this computer. So there's the computer information there. I've called it Unity Toshiba. Default applications you've got here as well. Removable media and what to do with it, and a legal notice. And back to all settings. I must have accidentally changed the icons for this at the start. Didn't mean to do that, but it's looking good. I actually like the Quagga strip up the top there. I think the darker one looks a bit better than the brownish one, to be honest. Let's have a look what it does when we full screen with something. It just goes dark. It's fine. And yeah, the Quagga's got the dark strip on the side, which is the other thing I like. And Unity seems to be handling that pretty well. And Nemo seems to be working as expected. I haven't tried setting up bind mounts or anything like that, so I might give that a go as well and see how that goes. And then we've got our system settings here. I've got a microphone setting and the speaker level. We can mute, sound settings, jump list there, straight into sound settings. Input, sound effects, input, which is my microphone, sound effects, applications, that's your running applications, simple screen recorder. Screen display, let's have a look at that. Scale all window contents to match. Display with largest controls, display with smallest controls. Launcher placement. Scale for menu and title bars. So that's an interesting one. I haven't had any, what can you say, no experience with the HIDPI. I don't know if that's what would help with HIDPI. I'm not sure. So scale for menu and title bars, let's just check that out. Oh yeah, okay. So you can, is that meant to be pretty good for HIDPI? I don't know. Somebody can probably tell me. But it looks like it would work pretty well. You've got online accounts there and a list of online accounts there and plenty of them. So that's handy as well. It doesn't full screen that one. Online accounts. Let's just have a quick look through on everything that's in here. Now we've got an Ubuntu Software icon going on there. So maybe it was because I messed up the icons. Sorry about that. I didn't know that for some reason, I don't know what happened with the icon situation there. So Papyrus was the default, Papyrus / Yaru or something like that. Okay, so we have in here advanced additional drivers, which I will have additional drivers on this one because this is my Toshiba. It'll have the NVIDIA card. So you got all the options there. Haven't set that up yet. So you got backups. What is that one there? About backups, Deja Dupe, okay. So you've got a game there. So if we filter results, let's go accessibility first. Onboard, accessories, all these here. And you got the GNOME to do in here as well. So you've got two files there, interesting. I wonder if one's Nemo and one is... that's files. Okay, so that's the GNOME. So he's got both of them in there. Okay, that's interesting. So that's accessories, customization, dash plugins, developer, nothing. Education, nothing. Fonts, nothing. Games, graphics, internet, Remina remote desktop client, Geary Mail and Thunderbird. So he's got 2 mail clients there. Okay, media, videos, Rhythmbox, Cheese, simple screen recorder I installed, Office, Science and Engineering, System. So you've always got the recently used on top and the installed after that. Ubuntu Software, UX term, Xterm and terminal. System monitor, let's check it out, see what it's doing. Currently using 2.3 gigs of 8 gigs, 30%. Seems a bit high. I don't know if Unity's normally that high. I am recording but I think the modern day desktop, if I'm not mistaken, probably uses more memory if there's more memory available. I think that's how they work these days. I might be wrong, but it seems to me like if you got more memory, it's using more memory. If you got only 4 gig, then it probably uses less. I mean, that's the percentages, isn't it, I suppose? And it's got nice little tooltips there with looks like a bit of transparency or something there, but it's I like the way that looks. No right click up here. You got keyboard options there, power options, sound I've already looked at, calendar I've already looked at, and the shutdown button with the other options we've looked at. And we got the trash bin down the bottom, which is normally the case with Unity. That was always there. And you probably have the option of maybe turning that off. Unity launcher, or would it be under panel? Alright, so I don't see an option for turning off the rubbish bin there under launcher. Wouldn't be under panel because that'll be the top panel. Yeah, that's interesting. So you've got an option there for remember previous commands under the HUD. Hold super key for keyboard shortcut, so you can do that if you hold it down. Then it tells you super and 1 will open files. So if I hit number 1, it'll open files. Super 2 will open Firefox. That was always a good one, that one. Super 3 will open your Libre Writer. Super 4 will open Libre Calc. Super 6 will open Unity. So that is very handy indeed. So you just hold down the super key and press the corresponding number. Close, close, close and close. So that was Ubuntu Unity 20.04. Seems to be running okay at the moment, so haven't had many issues. I think the young man who's working on this is doing a great job. I didn't like Unity at first because of the what can you say, the immaturity of it. Because when you had the GNOME desktop at first, it was like you could do whatever you want, themes and icons and all this sort of thing, but the Unity desktop didn't have a lot of support for that to start with, so it sort of drove me away from it. I liked it, but I just couldn't do with it what I wanted to do with it. But these days, I don't worry too much about theming and stuff too much. Just little bits here and there just to make it look the way I like it to look anyway. And as long as I've got a favourite theme and icon, I'm pretty happy these days. And there seems to be plenty of support for those sorts of things these days anyway in the GNOME Look department. So I'm quite impressed with what the young bloke has done with the system here. Hopefully he can keep that up and work his way to an official Ubuntu flavour. He seems to be doing a very good job at this point in time with the Unity desktop. So good luck to you, young man. Hope all goes well. So that was a look around the Ubuntu Unity desktop 20.04. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.